I am the author of the Dining on a Dime cookbook, which we don't have right now.
Oh, I'll get one. You're the new kid here.
I'm the new kid on the block. Nobody knows who I am. So, today we're just going to have a little... It's over in the baked mic. Over there in that drawer.
Chit-chat.
Okay, hello everyone.
Uh-oh, you're smiling. That must be a good thing.
Tawra, oh, you should have seen the thumbnail that was up.
Which one was it?
It was just me laughing like, So, okay guys, we are back today. Thank you everyone for welcoming me back. Thank you everyone who's still with us after Thursday's big shake up there.
What happened? Welcome back, welcome back. Yay.
Aw, thanks. Jamie says I'm looking beautiful. Aw,
Isn't
so
she?
does Carrie. Thanks, guys.
You're looking well rested.
Wow.
All right.
Ooh, seeing a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while.
Okay, guys. So we're gonna have just kind of a chatting time today. I had not planned on going on today. Yeah, you ever have those days where you're just like, can I hang on until I go to bed? So...
How come I can't see anything on Facebook?
Why not?
I don't know.
I have it. That's weird.
Oh, there we go.
Patty! I hope you're loving your soap still.
Welcome back. We missed you. Aw, guys, this is so awesome. We sure appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm glad I was missed. Mike and I were both this morning having a moment of, why exactly are we doing this? Is anybody listening to us, and are we even helping anybody at all?
Des, I was just wondering about you. Sorry, go ahead.
Here's the thing, guys. Hello, Des. Here's the thing, guys. Here at Living on a Dime, our goal is to help you so you don't have to live on a dime anymore. Or if you're on a fixed income or Social Security or something like that and disabled, unable to work, something like that, that your life can be not as stressful using our tips and tricks to make your life better so that you don't always have to feel this constant pressure all the time of having money problems. And that is exactly what our point is. That's exactly why wow, I can't even keep up with comments. Thank you guys.
So
I appreciate
so many
it.
wonderful comments.
Wow.
Even your mom says you look really nice, daughter, tonight.
Oh, thank you. And so kind of what happened, guys, is we've been doing this for 22 years. 22 years this month.
Ooh, really?
22 years this month. I started writing Dining on a Dime cookbook 22 years ago this month.
Under the secret old name.
Yeah. By the way, here's a little Tawra trivia.
Yeah?
Do you know what today is? You don't know because you weren't there.
Yes.
No, it's the 3rd or the 4th.
I think today is the 4th.
Oh, yeah, it's the 4th. Today was the day I was saved.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
I have been a Christian for 39 years today.
I should know that. That's like a birthday. Well, it is a birthday.
It is a birthday. And so we've been doing this, I've been doing this for 22 years. I started off with another forum called Parents' Place, and I was on the November 97 in the Frugal Living Board there. So I understand how connected you get with these boards and that kind of thing. And so that is where I got the idea actually to write it. Wow, the comments are coming so fast, guys. I don't even think we'll be able to keep up. So thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, you helped me so much. Thank you, Christine.
Yay!
Everyone's loving how they're saying you look amazing.
Thank you, guys. Stormy, the guacamole tostadas are on the front page of livingonadime.com. You can go check out there.
They're like 5 items down, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah.
But they're still on the front page, yes.
Okay, so I got really, really tired doing this, and I had never really had a break. So in December, I just basically told Mike one day, I need a break. I'm done. He's like, well, what am I supposed to do? I said, I don't know. Figure it out. take a break with me, which now he regrets doing. Are you going to listen to your wife?
I think if I had taken a break with her, she would have taken a better break than she actually took.
Because I really didn't get a break. I got a lot done. I went through every single cabinet, every single drawer, every single item in my house, and I cleaned it. I dumped 30 bags of trash, where it all came from. Well, part of it, we were organizing the soap stuff, so a lot of that was from that. 30 bags of trash. I took 2 pickup loads. Actually, 3 pickup loads because I have one still waiting to go, but again, it snowed and I couldn't do it. So 3 pickup loads to the thrift store. 4 car loads to the thrift store. We had the equivalent of 6.
Sue says, welcome back, Tawra.
Sue!
Are you
wants
here?
to know. Yeah, she wants to know if we can come over Wednesday. I forgot to tell you.
I'll
tell you
call
why.
in sick at work. I won't tell anybody.
Yes, Sue, we're going to come over and see you. I just had some stuff happen this morning. I didn't get a chance to reply to you yet. And I got at least 6 trash cans of recycling done. And no, everybody's going to say, did you watch whatever that lady's show is on Netflix? I did not watch her show. You know what I did? Instead of wasting 6 or 8 hours watching a show, I got my butt in there and I got the work done. That's what you got to do, people. Oh,
Ooh, you are back.
So, I don't watch her show, never read the book, none of that. This is just Tara's was tired of the house being disorganized. When we brought the soap stuff in, we did not really have a good place to put it, and we just kind of put it down in our family room. And even though it was organized, it really caused a big upheaval in our family life, which is why we were trying to move for so long, just to make room for all the business stuff. But it didn't work. Gina and I got all the soap stuff organized. I got my entire house organized, so I feel like a brand new person just from that alone. Anyway, so I kind of was trying to take a break, but the business stuff, every single day it was something major. Either between soap or living on a dime, we would have major packages missing. I have this new soap cutter that's being designed for me. The guy was supposed to have it done Thanksgiving. It's still not done. We were dealing with all kinds of stuff.
Oh, they're dying for you to slap the table and say, get it together, people.
Stop. Okay, so this is my favorite mug. This is in dedication to my brother today, which I'll explain in just a moment. That's my favorite CFS fibromyalgia mug. Really, I'm fine.
Shannon! Shannon says, Tara, you look fabulous.
Aw, thanks, guys. So this morning, this weekend we got a phone call from Mom that my brother was in the emergency room. And he, as you guys know, he's got really bad back pain. What we didn't say on the show was last week, about 10 days ago, he lost the use of his arm. He's in a horrid amount of pain, to the point where he went to the ER twice in 12 hours this weekend. This morning, I was talking to my sister-in-law, and they are going to bring him out here. She got an appointment at a spine place here in Denver. And so they're going to try if he can make the trip. Hopefully he can make the trip without it literally killing him. They're making the trip on, he has an appointment on Monday to go to the spine doctor here to see if he can get some help. So because of that, I decided to go ahead and come back this week instead of finishing my last week off, because I won't be here next Monday. I'm really sorry, but
you get a taste of Tara before Mike does one more show.
But my sister-in-law is terrified to drive in Denver with total, how do I say that? With
chaos, chaotic.
No, I mean she's right to be afraid to drive in Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's for
not. Good reason. She's
justified. For good reason. She's justified, is what I'm trying to say, for not wanting to do that, because Denver is scary. And so anyway,
So sorry about your brother, sending prayers for him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you guys could really pray for him. And then my grandparents aren't doing real well either. So this morning I just really got hit with a bunch of stuff, and I said, well, let me go on now because it looks like I may have to be taking off again. So if we're gone unexpectedly or something, those things are what is going on in our life, kind of a brief synopsis. No, Susan, you say you did all that and you didn't get much done. No, I mean, I didn't get much resting done. But I'll be honest, I'm not the kind of person that can just sit and do nothing.
She has a really hard time doing nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I even painted, not all of it, but I painted all the spots on we have white trim in our house, and I even painted all the trim that was nicked because I was like, oh, it's driving me crazy. But my house is in order. I will say I did have a moment where I just wanted to go cry and jump off a cliff when I had cleaned every single thing in our house. And the day after we did our living room, I was like, there is dust on the piano. Why is there dust on the piano? I just cleaned it yesterday. Well, come to find out, our ducts are dirty and it's been blowing stuff all over the place. I thought stuff was exceptionally dirty, and I'm like, okay, I know I haven't been keeping on top of things, but I've been not just sitting around doing nothing either. I've been dusting and stuff like that. And I was like, this is weird. So Monday, we're also getting our ducts cleaned out, and hopefully that will help a little bit with that.
But everything's looking really nice. She did a great job.
Yes, I did do that. So, and then of course we had the big hoo-ha on Thursday that happened.
Do you want to hear some good stuff before that?
Sure.
Sharon, using your Living on a Dime cookbook up here in Canada. Great book. Thank you, Sharon.
Thanks.
Kathy made the egg rolls, and they were yummy. Debbie, oh my goodness, you're helping me so much, and you're such a blessing to me. Music Mad,
good.
Welcome back, the king and queen of sensibleness. A lot of people saying you're looking great. Margaret, good for you, Tara, and you're looking great.
Thank you.
And Tammy says she's a new viewer, just found the channel the other day, enjoying your videos. Ordered your book yesterday. Thank you, both of you, for what both of you are doing online.
Aw, thanks.
And lots of people telling you happy second birthday.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
We love Mike, but it was not the same without Tara. You know, I heard that a lot.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the love, but I understand.
Yes. Mike did a great job. Thank you, Dee. I should publicly thank you. Thank you for taking over for me. You did a wonderful job. I know who I can call on when I need to.
Aw, thank you.
And
Tanya had a birthday on Saturday, so we should
happy
sing.
birthday, Tanya.
I hope it's Tanya or Tanya.
Okay, let's see. Thank you everyone for all the prayers for my brother. If you could please continue to pray for, he's really bad. He's bad enough that I am very concerned that he's even going to be able to make the trip out here. So, and yeah, so, okay, so,
Do you need me to?
no, that's good. All right, so today we're just going to kind of do a Q&A type thing. Kind of those questions that you have been wondering about. Mom may or may not be here next Monday in my place when I'm driving my brother in there. We'll see. She may help my sister-in-law drive him out here.
Ooh, Sandra is asking, are you going to do the Valentine's dinner again this year? Make Mike do it. That would be fun.
Oh my goodness, that would be a 4-hour show.
Oh, that same specific one that you've
Yeah.
already counted the prices of and everything.
Yeah.
Actually, that is a really good dinner. That
Yeah.
Jennifer, no grass grows under her feet. Cindy says it's snowing in Grass Valley, California.
Yeah. It is.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Okay, so let me just explain something for those of you who are new here. I have a problem.
Uh-oh.
So, And Mike describes it perfectly. On the empathy scale, between 1 and 100, where do I rate, dear?
About -14. That's why we're good together, because Mike has the empathy gene over time. Kind of balances us out a little.
So here's the thing. If you guys are new, I just want you to know that it's not that I don't feel bad for you. It's not that I haven't been in your situation where there's been severe money problems. I have lived on $300 a month disability myself. So, and we're thinking about doing a series with Mom and I on living on a fixed income and living on Social Security. And leave a comment in the description below if that's something you might be interested in, or if you have other show ideas you would like us to, if you would like for us to do a show on a particular topic or something like that. But Mom and I were thinking about doing it. But when I'm being a little harsh, as people say,
actually,
it's not because I don't understand where you've been. It's more to get you to wake up and see that, okay, I'm having an issue. I'm trying to think of how to say this nicely. It's more
if I knew what you were going to say, I would translate ahead of time.
It's more that I am trying to get you booted off your butt and propel yourself forward instead of sitting there playing the victim. I have chronic fatigue syndrome. I have fibromyalgia.
Ooh, actually, this has kind of been the circle becoming complete, because I sort of talked about this in the first show after you left.
Well, there you go.
In a different phraseology, but it was...
I grew up extremely poor. Extremely poor. There was no way I could ever pay to go to college. There was no way my parents could pay to go to college. And then I got sick. And the thing that we're trying to do is not pity you. That was brilliant. Brilliant. Julie, there's a difference between empathy and pity. You don't pity people, but pity isn't helpful anyways. That is true. I am not going to sit here and let you be the victim.
Tina's just busting up over the empathy scale.
So our whole goal here is to get you propelled forward, get you moving, and stop being a victim. You are not a victim. You are a victor, and you can be a victor by the choices you make in the way you spend your money. I don't care if you have $300 a month or if you have $300,000 a month. Someone who has $300,000 a month can actually be more poor. Is that the way to say that? Is that proper English?
More poor?
Who can actually be poorer. Is that proper English? I don't know what proper English is for that one. Can actually be poorer than someone who has $300,000 because you have, because you have $300 because you have all of this debt going with all of this stuff. So, and believe me, I know if I had $300,000, I would be happy. Believe me, that's not what I'm saying. My point is, your value could actually be higher for someone who has a low income than someone who has a high income because they're blowing it on all this stuff and they really don't have any security. So let's say we have a huge financial crash, and guys, it's gonna happen. I don't care who's president, I don't care who's in office. Every 10, 12 years, it always cycles around. You need to be prepared for the next one that's coming, and that's what we're trying to get you to do.
Well, and part of that is, when we were younger, whole bunches of not baby boomers, the greatest generation were still around a lot more than they are now, the Depression babies. And they used to say things like, save for a rainy day. And what they meant is, when times are good and things are booming, don't blow all your money on adding more cable and getting more car payments and getting more fancier phones and everything else, that's the time to set aside things so that if you have an emergency later, you have that available to you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying that if living on a fixed income, Social Security, budgeting, all that would be good for a show. Did you say we were going to do a budget show?
Well, we had thought about doing that for mom, and then maybe budgeting with you and I.
Like how much is in our budget and all
that? Yeah, and maybe Mike and I talking about what we spend our money on for expenses. Those kinds of things. So we've got a few questions, so I'm going to answer a couple of those as we're going here. So if you guys have questions, throw them out to me. But really, we want to inspire you to stop being a victim and start figuring out the next step to move yourself up.
Actually, it's funny because Tara has lived in a lot worse situation than me. But when we were first, where was it about 2 years after we got married when we were living in Idaho? We had no money really, and we had no refrigerator in our house. And we've told that story before, and there were other things that were going on at that time where we just had no money. And so sometimes it's something if you're on a fixed income and you're disabled and you just can't. But even then there might be some way to reshuffle things depending on how well you've done that already. But most people don't have to stay in that place. Like for us, I think, we didn't really know what to do. We didn't have what seemed like a lot of options, but we just kind of looked to see what was the next best thing to move toward. And then here we are. So, yeah. I mean, there's been time in the middle and it's been difficult at times. But the thing is, I think most people can get out of those situations or can relish talking about how bad the situation is and not make any attempt to change. And I think that's where Tara gets frustrated when people want a lot of sympathy but don't want to actually have to challenge their behaviors.
Yeah. And one thing, like with mom, you need to be prepared for the worst. My mom paid off our house right before we all became sick with chronic fatigue syndrome. If she would not have had that house paid off, we probably would have been homeless. Because there is no way we could have made living on $500 a month with a house payment. We couldn't have done it. And so you never know when you're going to be preparing for the next thing that happens. The stroke, the heart attack, the broken leg, the falling off the roof, whatever, a spouse dies. You never know. And so you need to be prepared to have those things in order when you have something happen.
It's funny, I didn't see who said it. Somebody was saying it's not about how much money you have, it's what you do with that money. And that's true. And Robin says all about the relationship with money, regardless of the amount.
Yeah.
True also.
Yeah.
And people were talking about Danielle, you're being real, not harsh. If you're new here and she says something and you feel like, pause. Keep watching. Maybe watch another episode.
You need to watch what I say in context,
because the thing is that when I first met Tara, my family did a lot of kind of digs and underhanded comments and passive-aggressive talk. And so I just was triggered constantly, like, wah! By her and her family. And I finally realized, I'm kind of, she's not coming at it with the most empathetic tone. But at the same time, I'm reading into it things that she's not saying.
Yeah.
And so I think that's hard when, but somebody else said, Debbie, don't sugarcoat it, just say the truth. Okay, I have to say, it might have been a little easier for my transition. But I have to say, I did really appreciate when we were dating that she didn't play coy. She told me exactly what she was thinking. And I was like, wow, okay, I like this. But it is, if you're thinking about it in the context of how other people have treated you, then you might be offended when she's not actually, after you.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so let's get the elephant out of the room, and then I'll get on a couple of other topics. So, as far as far as closing the grocery group, for those of you who had participated in that, first of all, I truly apologize to our faithful Living on a Dime viewers that got caught in the middle of this. What happened was, in the year that I had started that group, we had grown to over 60,000 people. I had started the group to try to help promote our website and our books. It was not all about selling books. We were trying to get people to go to our website and
we were
learn.
actually trying to encourage the people that are already part of the community on the show, because it would give you an opportunity to have more depth of, well, not just when we're on.
Yeah. And so what happened was we were trying to get them to go to our website to get the free information for those people who are on a fixed income, to get all that free information to them and help them out. What happened was several months ago, Heidi and I started noticing that people weren't doing that. It wasn't necessarily just buying the cookbook. That would have been great. That would have been helpful. But going to our website also. Come to find out, when Mike took over, he said, I don't even think they know who we are. And I was like, well, I've been kind of wondering that myself.
Well, because honestly, I have to say, I was sort of halfway in the comments and I wasn't hearing everything Tara said, but Tara was kind of saying, I just feel like quitting because we keep telling people and trying to help, and everybody keeps coming back with all these crazy things, and I just think nobody's getting it or listening, and that's when I looked at it, I was thinking, I don't think these people know who we are, like a large part of the group. I'm not saying everybody, because obviously some of you are in the group. But at that point, we were realizing, because that was really frustrating, because I think Tara felt like we're doing all this to help and people aren't getting it. And then we finally realized there's, except for the ones who have gone to the group from the show, there's not any apparent migration to the show to actually get plugged into what we're trying to do to help people.
Yeah. And we spent a large sum of money. Like
a lot of people's
$30,000 moderating this group. And we did not get even close to that back. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, why didn't you just have other people? Why were you paying a moderator? Because it was associated with our business. It had my name on it. I was responsible for it. And even if I had other people who I wasn't paying moderate it, I would still have to keep track of them to make sure that they weren't doing things that would be harmful to us or our business. So what happened was I went on Thursday. Well, we were going to do
partly because the group has a lot of stuff that's intertwined with us that we can't separate from it. Really.
And there was a lot of posts that were being posted that Heidi and I were kind of like, we aren't quite sure. And by the way, thank you, Heidi. I did not thank her in my closing thing, and I'm very sorry. Heidi did a great job. Heidi was wonderful at doing this, and we truly appreciate how much she did with it. But her and I both started noticing that there were things that people were posting that we did not agree with, and we did not really want associated with our business, like using payday loans as an emergency fund. It's just kind of one of those things. Recipes that were kind of iffy, tips that were kind of iffy, and we were really having a hard time moderating that. So there's that portion of it. Then the other portion that none of you guys saw, because it's a great and wonderful group, was my bouncer woman, Heidi. She was getting them gone.
She was clipping the bad stuff pretty quick, but it was very difficult on her too.
So what happened was we were going to close on Saturday. I decided to go a couple days early to give people a little bit more time.
Oh, by the way, we're still on Facebook. It's just the other group, the grocery group.
Yeah, it's just the grocery group. So what happened was I went live thinking, okay, I'm just going to make this announcement, give people a few days to kind of get somewhere else, that kind of thing. And I had to leave for an appointment. I got to my appointment. I checked in with Heidi before my appointment. And she's like, close it now. I can't keep up. I'm like, what? So I had to finish my appointment, and I couldn't finish my appointment. By the time I came back, people were being so nasty and so mean. It was surreal. And let me tell you, we have put up with a lot doing this business. And I cannot believe what people were saying about us. It was lies, flat out lies that people knew nothing about.
People just making up things and gossiping.
Making up things, gossiping about us that had absolutely nothing to do with why I was closing the group. It was so bad that I was going to allow other groups to post on my groups so that people could find another place to go. And when I went and looked on those groups, they were doing nothing but gossiping and bashing us. And that was when I was like, forget it, it's gone. I am not going to do this. It's fine if you want to talk about me behind your back. I don't care, behind my back.
Because you will be judged eventually.
I did this with the best of intentions, and I truly was going to try to help people find other groups to get in there and that kind of thing. And I would have even worked with people to possibly set up a smaller group or something like that where other people were moderating, and I would just put a link to whoever wanted to start it. But because people were so mean and nasty, Heidi and I could not delete the comments fast enough.
Well,
we could not keep up.
And for those of you who know Heidi and like Heidi, she was pretty grieved at how much under fire she was. I hope I'm not stepping out of bounds to say that. But
yeah.
But she was really struggling with how much stuff was coming at her. And
the thing is, poor Heidi didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to anybody because people turned so nasty and so bad that we had to close it. I mean, I truly did not even have but minutes. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, nope, we are not doing this. I am not going to be treated this way. I'm not going to allow Heidi, Mike, any of us to be treated this way. It's wrong.
May I pause for a second and tell you, a lot of people are telling you how much they love us and how appreciative they are. And thank you very much, because honestly, it was really, well, one thing that I was telling Tara is, you know, the people that are being nasty, even though it's a lot of them in that particular venue, are not the people that were really able to help here. And sometimes it's hard for us to separate, you know, when there's a bombardment of bad stuff coming, it's hard to separate that and say, but these other people, they really appreciate it. And so when you say that, we really like that.
Well, and we spent thousands and thousands of dollars trying to help people in this group who truly could not buy our products. We have always done that. We have over 1,000 videos. On YouTube, we have over 1,500 articles on livingonadime.com just for those people who are on a fixed income, single moms, whoever needs help. That's why we're here. And that's why we offer all of that free. But for the people who can buy our book, that helps keep it open so that we can provide that for free.
Because we spend a lot of time putting it together.
Yeah, we spend a lot.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is why I closed the group early. I apologize to all of our faithful viewers. I am really sorry, guys. And I truly wanted to set up another group, but frankly, if you're going to take what I had built and spent on it and then use that as a platform to just go and gossip and talk bad about us, sorry, I'm not going to allow it.
Oh, thanks everyone.
So
make me cry.
Unfortunately, that's what happened with that. So anyway, yeah. So So anyway.
But we very much appreciate all of you, and we want to make sure you understand that. And for the people that were part of that group, we're really sorry that it just wasn't possible to maintain it without it well, initially the issue was we were just financially struggling with the cost of maintaining it. But it really was an emotional teardown for Tara and Heidi both on a regular basis. And I really realized it when she was gone and I was part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't even on it that much. It was mostly just kind of witnessing it.
Yeah. Well, and, I guess I could have been more empathetic in that video. I thought I was trying to be good, but because I have no empathy in my brain, I don't know how to do that, and I probably should have gone on with Mike so he could have translated. But, I just felt like if we did it then we could be getting people to other places to give them a little bit longer time. And I honestly thought I was trying to do a good thing, and it ended up literally blowing up all over internet land. So anyway, that's the explanation.
Somebody did say people were thanking Heidi. Yes, we're thankful that for the nice people that were thanking Heidi. It's the ones that weren't thanking Heidi were largely the ones that were having to be removed.
Yes. And by the way, Heidi. Okay, so what is Heidi going to be doing? So poor Heidi kind of got thrown into a tailspin, but we are going to be putting Heidi on helping us create videos. She's going to be doing our research for us to help us find video topics that people want so that we can present them. She is also going to be helping me film some videos. And so we're going to try and get it set up so that her and I can do a few videos together for things that Heidi does that I don't do, like canning and growing microgreens and grocery shopping where prices are super cheap because Minnesota has super cheap prices. We don't in Colorado. They're not horrid, but I mean, she just gets better deals than we do on a lot of things. And so she's going to be helping with some of that.
And some other people are mentioning this, but I'll just say one thing about the volunteer moderators. It's nice that people wanted to think about, could we volunteer to be moderators? But the problem is that if you've been out on the internet or on Facebook very long, you probably notice a lot of groups have a lot of really difficult things happening, and it's just difficult for volunteer moderators to devote the time because it takes a lot of time. I mean, Heidi was spending
hours a day. She was up to like 4 or 5 hours, I think, a day having to moderate it. And I don't want her whole life to be situated around having to check our group to see who's being nasty this time and who's not. So anyway, that's the explanation for that. This is one of those things where I think you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think, well, I mean that in a nice way, but I don't think I could have. I think no matter what I would have done in this situation, it would have been a disaster. So we tried to do the best we could, and I'm really sorry it happened. So anyway, thank you guys who are supportive of us, and I appreciate it because we had a lot of people defending us against the really bad remarks. And so really appreciate those of you who did that. I did see those remarks, and I did see all the wonderful comments from people saying how sorry they were, but they understood. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. So, okay, so
actually,
now...
a lot of people saying they didn't take any offense, and they thought your video was fine.
Good, so, thank you. All right.
Heidi is one of our assistants, and she was kind of maintaining that group, and also she kind of moderates a lot of the comments on our YouTube channel when we're not live and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are wondering, we do intend to have Heidi do other things that will hopefully help us be able to expand and make it a better, make everything better for everyone in the long run.
Oh, Lana gave us a $10 super chat. Thank you, Lana.
Thank you, Lana.
Thank you so much. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, So that's all I'm going to say about the grocery group. I would like to just move on with life. If you have questions about it, though, you are free to email me. I don't mind. But anyway, that is the explanation for that. Okay, next. Go to the questions. Here we go.
So actually, we had a bunch of other questions that were just normal questions. Like,
Okay.
well, Polonio was asking, Tawra, what do you do when you're not feeling well?
I take Alka-Seltzer and I keep forging on, which is probably not the best advice to take. So I usually take an Alka-Seltzer. It helps me. There's something in the citric acid, the baking soda, and the aspirin combination that perks me up and helps me feel better. But I would say take something like that and then rest. With chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, you do have to rest a lot. I do my cleaning in spurts. I call it commercial cleaning. So like if I'm watching a TV show, I'll spend the commercials moving the stuff from the washer to the dryer, go load the dishwasher, unload the dishwasher, and then sit back down and watch my show. I do a lot of cleaning like that, and I just take it easy and try to do what I can. I try to never sit still because fibromyalgia gets worse when you just sit and lay down, and you need to move. Even if it's just doing leg lifts or doing stretches or whatever, it gets worse when you don't move. So I do try to keep moving.
7-4 says, no empathy. If you didn't have empathy, you wouldn't do what you do.
Well,
Actually,
that's probably true, yeah.
I probably shouldn't say this because I don't think I was authorized
Did my
to say this.
empathy meter just go up to 3?
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm really authorized to say this, but Heidi said that she kind of wishes that people could understand you the way she has come to understand you because she said that she can see that you have a really big heart for people. And I think that's true. Sometimes it's hard to see if you're brand new and you don't recognize.
Thanks. Well, what people don't realize is we do give a lot of books and things away behind the scenes that nobody knows about. And so I think that's kind of what she's talking about. Because we do truly want to try and help people. So anyway, go ahead. Next question.
Oops, let me see what else we have.
I
here.
tried yoga, Robin, and I just could not get into yoga. I think my personality is just too boxing. I do better at boxing than I do yoga.
Gee, I could say so many things there.
I think I would be a great boxer. But you know what's interesting about that? I took a genetic test, a DNA test to try and help me with my CFS and fibromyalgia. And I have the warrior gene. I actually have a warrior gene, so that's part of it. So
Yes.
Anyway. So if we go to war, guys, just put me at the front.
5257 Lee says, you both look so adorable together. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You guys like my Valentine's tree?
Yes, there it is. A couple people saying it just joined in. I'm totally in the dark. Tawra was just briefly describing for some people. We had another group, a private Facebook group that was just unfortunately not working out for a variety of reasons, and it was kind of a difficult situation last week, and she was just explaining that. So if you're not part of that group, then it probably wouldn't make sense, which is fine. So let me see what else we got here. So somebody was asking if are your son and daughter planning another road trip? I don't know.
I don't know. Probably not. BJ just started a really good new job that he's loving and he's doing really good at. He's functioning. I wouldn't say he's feeling better. He's not flat in bed. He's able to work. But yeah, it would let's see, I don't know how I would say this. He's feeling better, but he's not healed, and we still don't know what's wrong with him. As a matter of fact, the other day he was looking, poor guy, was looking to try and figure out what could help him feel better.
Ditching the grind. Ditching the grind wants to know, once we pay off the mortgage, will we be traveling to New Zealand, Australia, or Ireland?
Probably.
And
New Zealand, please.
I want to go to New Zealand.
Music Matt
Australia.
says she's coming to my place in New Zealand. So
There you
yay.
go.
That's awesome. One thing about BJ, our oldest son, the one that Tawra was just talking about, he has a channel on YouTube, is 007K, 007, is it space K? And today he posted a video talking about how he's feeling and what he's doing to have it, because he's improved some, and partly it's by he's improved some by changing his lifestyle a lot. So even though he's not all the way better from whatever his struggle has been, he's figured out a way to kind of make it work for him.
Yeah.
Here, I'll put his.
Yes, I'm going to start doing some cooking shows again. Of course, like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm not quite sure. I'll probably do one Wednesday. I am going to do soap tomorrow at 10 a.m. on Living on a Dime on Facebook. I'm going to jump back in and get my soap going.
On Living on a Dime on Facebook?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, cool.
On Living on a Dime on Facebook. I'm going to be making soap again tomorrow. We're going to do that. Okay, next question.
We did see the super chat. Somebody asked if we missed the super chat. We saw it from Lana. Thank you.
Thank you, Lana. Sorry, the comments were getting behind on us, so we just caught it up. Thank you. You were so
You know
sweet.
what, Lana? That's exactly what I was telling Tara too. So I'm glad that you guys are confirming that.
Yeah. Sandra, do any of our kids play instruments? Sort of. Ellie played the flute, and David and Ellie both played the piano, but they both aren't doing it now. Partly on the piano thing, we have a mini piano instead of a full keyboard, and both of them are frustrated with that, so they want us to get a full-size keyboard, but it's like $400, and right now our goal is to get the house paid off, so I don't know. We'll see about that.
Jack!
Teresa, yes. BJ has tried CBD oil. It did kind of help a little bit with his sleeping, a little bit, but he's not on it anymore.
He's found...
Yeah. And Jack plays the recorder.
Yeah. I'm watching.
He learned that in school.
I was watching this a little bit behind, but I still play the piano.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't play a lot.
Well, they don't play a lot. They want to play more, but they want a bigger keyboard, and so...
I whistle.
I need to buy myself a bigger keyboard, yeah.
Yes.
I had somebody at church ask me the day if I play an instrument, and I said I whistle.
Yeah, you whistle. Yeah, there
I
you
don't
go.
think there's a need for that in that, but I thought it was pretty funny.
Have you done genealogy? I haven't done genealogy because my uncle did it for my family, and so I already had it done on my side of the family, which actually we found out somebody came over on the Mayflower, which is pretty cool.
Ooh.
Mike has done some on his family. We didn't do the DNA test for that. We did the DNA for my fibromyalgia.
The only ship that I can name from my genealogy is the Primrose.
Well, there you go. Jessalyn, when's the new cookbook coming out? I don't know. When's it coming out, dear?
I
don't know.
Not sure. I was hoping that it could be ready to send to the printer at the beginning of the summer, which would mean later in the summer. But it kind of depends. I was trying not to bother Tara while she was supposed to be off, but there's some stuff that's missing that we need to add to it.
Apparently.
Well, some of it we found, and some of it we need to add that I don't think existed. So it still needs to be expanded, but we are working on it, and we're making some progress, and that's good. I think it's like 300 or 400 pages so far.
Is it 300 or 400
I think it's
pages already?
300, 350 or something like
I
that.
can't write small books, can I?
Well,
Oh my
it was
goodness.
less than that, and then your mom I said to your mom, how come there's no breads chapter? And she said, I'm sure there's a breads chapter. So then she sent me that. So.
Julie, do you use any visual aids to track your financial goals and keep you motivated? Yes and no. When we were first paying off our debt that Mike had when we got married, this was before the internet really. This was before the internet actually, because this was in Texas.
What are you talking about?
Your paper to pay off our debt.
Oh,
so what
yes.
Mike did, this was before the internet, and what Mike did was he took a chart and he put our $3,000 here and zero here, and he put months in between, and each month we just kept checking off, and then if we would add extra that we weren't expecting, we would move that up, and that really helped motivate him.
I made it like a graph, and I put little
Yeah.
dots on each month of where I was projecting that the payoff would go, and that was we would get a refund for our electric bill or something, and we would add it to there, and we would just find other ways to try to pay off extra, and then that dot would be slightly lower than where we had projected, which meant that we had paid off even more than we planned. And so when I started seeing that we projected it here and it was actually going like this, I started getting really excited about it.
Now we just look at our mortgage balance.
Well,
So-
some people were asking if we were going to do that with the mortgage. I
I'm okay with just looking at the paper and see that, okay, it was 50,000 last month, now it's 49,000, now it's 48,000. I'm okay with that, but
Yeah, I look and I think, is there any way we can kind of just squeeze a little bit more out this month? Because it's really started to hit me, if we get the mortgage totally paid off, there's going to be a lot of extra money in a month because
we're paying a lot on it.
we've been paying a lot extra on it for a few years, and so we've gotten to where we're doing without that part of our income.
Yeah.
So if it was paid off, that would be suddenly available for whatever. And I started realizing, man, that would be pretty huge for us, which is why when somebody asked if we would go on a trip,
Probably.
it would be kind of a way of celebrating and saying, thank goodness we finally got the mortgage paid off, and just kind of a way to So yeah.
Robin, seedlings. I actually have a really good article at livingonadime.com. Type in gardening in the search, and I have how I start seedlings. I start them in little Dixie cups, or you can use the K-cups if you want. Save those K-cups and use them for that. Fill them with soil, and then I take a big cake deli thing, a deli cake tray. Like I found a cake on clearance for my kids for like $3, and so we ate the cake for their birthday, and then I saved those trays and I put them in there for that. That's how I start mine. I do not have any plants started. I don't know if I'm going to have a garden this year or not. I need to decide, but for me, it's still too early. We can't put anything out till Mother's Day, so I can't really start anything until 3rd or 4th week of March.
Mary Beth wants to know, will you be making soap on this channel again? She's on the YouTube side.
Tomorrow at Living on a Dime on Facebook, I'm going to make soap at 10 a.m.
Will you then put it on the YouTube channel later or no?
Then I will put it on my YouTube channel later.
Oh, but that'll be on your soap YouTube channel.
Yeah. Mary, the new cookbook will have all new recipes. It's going to be totally different from Dining on a Dime. Every recipe and tip will be different than Dining on a Dime.
And on that, we actually had a lot of requests for a new cookbook. And then it sort of changed to we were going to do the 20th anniversary one first. But the new one is still coming. It's just a little bit down the road still. It takes a lot to put them together, but we're making great progress. So.
Janet, what is the test for fibromyalgia? So basically it's symptomatic. They go through and they see what your symptoms are. They feel your muscles, where your trigger spots are, if they hurt, that kind of thing. They do have a test now to kind of rule things out. And they do have an autoimmune test they can do now, so they can kind of do that for that. CBD oil. I did try CBD oil. It made me really sick. I think I'm allergic to it, so I'm okay if that's what you want to do. I just got my CBD oil off of Amazon. If you pay $100 extra a month on your house payment, it cuts years off your mortgage. That is correct.
And the more you pay, the faster it goes.
Yeah. Because the more you can get paid off at the beginning of your loan, that takes off at the end. So like if you put $100 at the beginning of your loan, that takes off like 2 or 3 payments at the end, which is really good. So
Dolora wants to know, have you heard of celery juice? My husband and I are going to try it.
No, I haven't heard that one.
What would you flavor it with though? Celery.
I don't know. I am.
Mary, yes, the new cookbook will be all new recipes.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah.
Nancy, if you have not made the meatballs, it's a must. She's like the 3rd person to say it this show.
Oh,
Yay,
thanks guys.
Nancy.
Mary, every time we get an emergency fund, something happens that is usually more than what we have set aside. How much should we have in savings? Well, then double what you're saving. I mean, that's an easy way to figure it out. If it's more than what you're doing, so let's say you have $1,000, and like we had in July, every appliance in our house except for the stove died on us, and we had to replace all of our appliances at once. And thankfully Mike was able to fix the washer and dryer, but everything else we had to buy but our stove. Yeah.
Actually, though, if you're ever in that situation, we found out later that we should maybe have called our homeowner's insurance because
we didn't know.
They said if all that stuff fails at once, it's probably a power surge, which would be covered in our homeowner's insurance.
We did not know that at the time. So yeah.
One thing on that also is the emergencies. We used to, when we were paying, we had paid off a lot of credit card debt, and we kept the credit cards in case of emergency. And after a little while, we realized there's always going to be an emergency.
Yeah,
and
there's always an emergency.
So that's one reason why it's good to get into the mindset of thinking, okay, I have cash, but that doesn't mean it's available. I should save it for something
Yeah.
more useful, because a lot of people, I have cash, and so I'm going to go out to eat now,
Yeah.
or buy a new truck or something.
Well, and I would say I would get to the point where you have 6 months worth of income saved. And I'll be perfectly honest, 3 years ago, I would have said there's no way we could have done that. But you guys, you just have to keep trying. And because at that point, we had our emergency fund, $5,000, for when we try to keep enough of an emergency fund so if our car dies, we have $5,000 to replace it. Because we pay cash for our cars, and so we always try to keep $5,000 so that we can place it. Then our business finally started doing better when we started the live shows. So now we have probably not quite 6 months, because we're trying to pay off the house quicker. But we have at least 3 months that we can get by on. And for food, I'm going to do a whole show on food. Oh man, I was having a hard time keeping my mouth shut with the government shutdown. Oh man,
Okay.
you don't have to run away.
I'm leaving. Actually,
Thanks.
I was just looking for the candle.
Thanks, dear. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding. I was having a hard time keeping my mouth shut with the government shutdown. I have enough food in the house that we can live a year, 6 months comfortably, and a year in survival mode, if we need to. And so I think you really need to get to the point where you have no less than a month's worth of food in your house at any given time. And I don't care if it's macaroni and cheese or rice and beans. You get that emergency supply. And the government has put out a notice that you should be prepared to live without electricity for 6 months. And we're going to do a show on this. But guys,
That would be serious, so you want to be
get
prepared.
yourself prepared for these things. It doesn't cost a lot. It really doesn't. So we're going to talk about that stuff too.
Two things I was going to say, though. First of all, I forgot who it was that asked about the emergency fund. One thing about an emergency fund, we thought about it and changed our thinking at one point where we realized we can guarantee that so many $100 of emergencies are going to happen every month.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided that's no longer considered to be emergencies. We just budgeted for miscellaneous.
Mm-hmm.
So in our budget, we just had a plan for we have to plan that so many $100 of it is going to have to be for all those unexpected things. And when you kind of plan it like that, then only certain emergencies will ever get outside of that, and that's helpful too. And the one thing on the one thing that I was realizing that came to light while Tara was gone is how many Americans, and if this is you, don't feel bad, but it might be good to change, live paycheck to paycheck when they don't really have to. You know, if you're making $10 an hour and you have 6 kids and that's your total family income, that's pretty rough. That's difficult. But many people have very livable incomes but have absolutely no money all the time. And if you're in that situation, you really need to get control of that, because you can be in it reduces your stress so much to eliminate that right on the edge thing. And most people, almost everyone, can eliminate that. Even when we had very low income, we were still able to slowly pull ourselves away from the edge. And the more we did, the more opportunities we had to save, because sometimes things would come up and we actually had a little cash to take advantage of a really good deal on food or something, and then that would save us even more in the future. So definitely the paycheck to paycheck thing was something we realized, man, we really need to help people get away from that.
And one last question, would you recommend paying off your credit card or setting up an emergency fund first? What I would do is I would keep paying your minimum payments on your credit card and get your emergency fund set up, because if you have an emergency and then you just have to go right back and put it on your credit card, it's going to cost you more because that interest keeps accruing. So get at least $1,000 in savings if you can, $5,000, and then really hammer out that credit card, and then you don't have to worry about, if you have an emergency, putting it on the credit card. So, and yes, you did hear that right. The government put out a thing saying be prepared to live without electricity for 6 months. We're going to do a few shows on that.
It's on the Homeland Security website if you were
go to
curious.
Homeland
Department of Homeland Security.
Department of
DHS.gov.
DHS.gov. That's where you go to find it. So we're going to do that. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for coming. Are we doing birthdays? Because if we are, we need to do it.
Oh, I only saw one. Well, I only saw there was Tanya, so that's the only one I saw in the. So, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Tanya. Happy birthday to you! Yay!
Woo!
Woo!
All right, guys. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please pray for my brother. We would really appreciate it. He is in very bad shape. If you need more information on that, go back to the beginning of the show. We talked about it at the first. Thank you for all of you who have supported us through this trying weekend of shutting the grocery group down. We really appreciate your support on that. We love you guys, and we are here to help you eat better, spend less, and get yourself out of debt. Visit us at livingonadime.com and have a great night.
Thanks, bye. Again, Mike has to remember to turn it off. Bye. So now we keep on talking just in case we're still on. Hello.